This speaker, this woman, is phenomenal. She comes from Scotland in the United Kingdom. Is that pretty cool? And they told me I couldn't make it over there, and I met her, and she's got this very unique selling proposition. She is going to supercharge your brain by giving you the right nutrition. You understand? Because at the end of the day, energy, passion, enthusiasm comes from what you feed. And Clare Nisbet, nobody does it better in the world. And ironically, our next two speakers are about the brain, but different. One's from a nutrition perspective, one's from a mental health. And it's kind of fitting since we've been going 4 hours straight. And you're here, you're focused, you've been respectful. That, to me, is very classy. Because these people, this is their big moment. And you guys have been really amazing. The class of this event has been absolutely phenomenal. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a big welcome all the way from Scotland, Clare Nisbet, everyone.
Hello everybody. Who wants to supercharge their brain? Yeah, woohoo! We were all getting told that we need to have a champion's brain, yeah? But do we actually already start with a champion's brain in order to be able to make all these key decisions for business? So I've got a speedy 5 minutes to tell you how to supercharge your brain. So first of all, I want to tell you some quick things about the brain. You want to write this down. You got your pen and paper ready. Your brain is made of 60% fat. Right up here, yeah? 60% fat. It is a well-oiled machine, so we have to make sure it stays running. The other thing is, in every cell of our body, as well as in our brain, we have something called a mitochondria, and these are the powerhouses of all our cells, but we have a real concentration of them. We have about 10,000 of them in our brain. And what they do is they create the energy and they feed into this brain energy bank account for us that we then use to make all our decisions for business. So if we don't look after our brain and we don't look after our mitochondria, we have an empty brain energy bank account, okay? Now, the brain's worst enemy is inflammation. And I'm not talking about localized inflammation. So you might have cut your arm and it gets red and puffy and really itchy when it starts to heal. That's not the type of inflammation I'm talking about, because that's only localized. I'm talking about system-wide inflammation. So if you put it in a business perspective, say you've got a problem in one department, that is your localized inflammation. We're not talking about that, though. We're talking about company-wide problems, and we don't want that at all, not at all. And the problem that happens is when the inflammation is system-wide, it's up in our brain, and our brain energy bank account ends up getting emptied because we have to use the energy to get rid of the inflammation to be able to make those key business decisions. So we do not want any inflammation. So my tips for you, the first one, is to avoid foods that cause inflammation. And this is going to go down really badly because I'm going to tell you that coffee is really bad for you, sugar is really bad for you, and anything that comes from a grain or is a ground down flour product, because it's all related to blood sugar. And when you spike your blood sugar, you create inflammation. And you may well feel amazing. You get that complete buzz when you're there. But then what happens? What goes up must come down. And boom, you end up with that corresponding crash. You get grumpy. You get tired. You start craving that piece of cake again. You start craving that coffee. And you end up with this awful cycle. You peak and you crash and you peak and you crash. And that inflammation gets up into your brain. And your brain energy bank account, it's like having a hole in your pocket and your money's just disappearing and you've no control over it. And we don't want that. Tip 2, though, there's lots of things that we can eat to feed the brain. Eat the rainbow. You have fantastic fruit and veg in South Africa. And it's so juicy and the colors are amazing. eat as many different colors as you can, specifically dark reds, blues, purples. These fruits of that color, they hold all these antioxidants, and they are like brain warriors. They protect the brain from the inflammation. So you want to eat lots of them. And what did I say earlier? What did I get you to write down? The brain is made of 60%. Woo! Well, we need to eat fat. We need to consume fat to make sure that our brains stay a healthy 60% fat. So good fats, exactly. So this could be your coconut oil, could be from nuts, it could be oily fish, really good quality beef, pork, lamb, and you have some amazing, amazing farming in South Africa. The meat that you guys have access to is just amazing. So there is no excuse for you guys not to be able to eat some good fats. Okay? My last tip is to do with sleep. So everybody needs a good night's sleep in order to replenish that brain bank account. So remember those little mitochondria? They need you to have a good night's sleep in order to fill your brain energy bank account back up. And the other thing is avoid electronic screens. Blue lights, they keep you awake and they tell your brain to stay awake. So that's my 3 tips, very quickly, in 5 minutes, for supercharging your brain. It's super easy. Thank you so much.